Alrighty. What's
Yeah.
up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Two Friends and the podcast where we talk about a topic of the week, but usually get off topic. Today's episode is about straight men.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purely because Rebecca has a story she's going to tell in just a minute. But that's kind of why we wanted to talk about it, because we realized there's a lot that we can say about the straight guys that have been in our lives and about the ones we encounter on a day-to-day basis, or even live with, for one of us anyway.
Luckily, Nick's not too much of a straight man. And like, going along with that, we're disclaiming that this doesn't include you, most likely, if you're listening to this podcast. This is like the uber masculine, like, no boundaries, fuck boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because those type of guys are not the ones going out of their way to listen to a podcast with a woman and a gay guy.
Right.
So, yeah, we're probably not talking about you if you're listening to this.
Most likely.
But okay, so since I already alluded to it, I'm gonna let you tell the story that kind of inspired this whole episode.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I work in a like an auto repair shop. So I work in the office, and there's a window that opens up into like the bays where everyone works. So these two guys, my coworkers, were standing outside the window talking, and all I hear, like, I'm sitting at my computer minding my own business, and I bruised this girl's thighs one time. I was like railing her, and she tried to pull away. So I grabbed her by the thighs to pull her closer and bruised her thighs.
Oh.
Right?
I hate that story. I hate it. It's so gross. Oh my god. Like, are you concerned about the fact that she was trying to pull away from you?
Right. That should have been
Like,
your first clue that something was up. Like, she wasn't comfortable. You don't just pull away for funsies.
no. It's usually because ow, this hurts.
Right. Because you're like thinking that you're God incarnate, and you're like ripping her open. It's fine.
He was doing the true. Have you seen True Blood?
No.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna if you've seen True Blood, um the vampires on that show, when they have sex, it's literally like it's in super speed and they have super strength. So it's like
Oh my
it's
god! That's what
and
he was doing.
yeah, and it's rough. That's what I was gonna allude to. He was fucking True Blood railing that girl. Oh god. That
Yeah.
It's so gross.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a prude. Neither are you, for that matter. Like, we talk to each other about sexual stuff, or not stuff, but like encounters and whatnot all the time. We have a healthy relationship with it. However, we are not in public in front of, we'll say, a dozen people
Right.
talking about it out loud in such a disrespectful way. Like, I'm sure that girl did not want you talking about that
In
to
front
your
of
boys.
everyone. At work.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, like, I don't have a problem with talking about sex. I just have a problem with it when you're being gross about it.
Right. And
Like,
disrespectful to the other person.
yeah, and that's, I think, the crux of it, is it's disrespectful. Like, it it's in the way you speak it.
Right. It's disrespectful you did that to begin with. And then saying it adds to it.
Yeah, and that's really only something that straight guys do.
Right.
Like, I've known many gay men. We talk about sex a lot, but not like that. And I've known a lot of women. Women don't talk about sex like that.
Nope.
Like, it's
In private, with only girls. Yeah.
yeah. It's cringe inducing, and that's the thing. And ugh, I don't. What a great inspiration for this episode.
in that same conversation, like 10 minutes later, the guy that he was talking to, they were talking. He was So the guy that said that was like, "Let me see your Tinder profile," and they were talking about that, and then the guy was like, I just need to have like nothing else but no fat chicks in my description.
I hate that.
Like, I think he was joking, but the fact that he was adding that at all means he's gonna get like 0 matches. Unless
Yeah.
unless they're like really vain girls, because even girls that are small don't like that.
No, because it shows the type of person you are.
Right.
Like, you can absolutely have a preference for skinny people. Like, that's fine. Don't say that shit.
Yeah.
Don't say that shit.
Just like move on. If you get a match
Yeah.
with a fat girl, well, you wouldn't get a match anyway because you're swiping on her. So fucking
The audacity, the gall, and the gumption
right.
of straight men to think that they can just put that out into the world and like not have consequences about it. And this isn't a like trying to be like super whatever. Just like why is it why are you not being respectful?
Right.
Like, why are you not being respectful of other people's existences? That's like putting no black people. Like, you could have a preference for white people or for Hispanic people, Asian people, whatever.
But you probably shouldn't say that.
No, you shouldn't put that shit. Not if you have a preference against it.
Right.
Because then it comes off as like racist or sizist or ableist or whatever,
Right.
whatever your anti-preference is. It comes off gross. It comes off so gross.
Right.
So the other guys in your office,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk about them because they're straight.
Oh, okay. So I work with all straight guys. And that's where you say, are you sure?
I was like, what is the silence for? Oh, me. I had a line. Okay.
Yeah, so I work with all straight guys.
Are you sure?
I think so. So my boss, like my top boss, he has a wife and a kid, so I'm pretty sure he's straight. My assistant manager may be gay, but he has a girlfriend, so I'm assuming he's not.
Okay.
My supervisor is a woman. She's the only woman that works with me. There's 2 of us. That's
Oh.
it.
Oh.
Yeah. But she works in the office, so I'm like usually stuck with the men by myself. And then the guys on the floor, one of them has a wife and a girlfriend and a kid. A wife and a girlfriend. No, that's not what he has. He has a wife and a child. One of them has a girlfriend, 2 kids. One of them may be gay because I've never heard about him being with women at all, or men though, so who knows. And then the other 2 are the 2 we just discussed.
Mm-hmm.
I found a Skittle.
Okay. Okay. Where did the Skittle come from?
It was laying on my desk.
Do we need to have a talk about your Skittle intake if there's so much that you just leave one on the desk? But anyway, one, I love that you slipped up and said wife and girlfriend, because it's totally possible. Straight men are the cheatingest ass people out there. Why do you think one of them is gay? Like, what leads you to think that?
Oh, he might not
He
be.
has a girlfriend, but...
Oh, I don't think he's gay. It's just a possibility.
Oh. Okay, well.
Yeah.
That's fine. I've worked with almost exclusively straight men, with the exception of 2. When I was working at the escape room, when I was working at the ice cream store or fudge store, whatever the fuck you want to call it, pretty much every guy that worked with me was straight. And it's like, there's such a weird dynamic when, and I'm sure you can relate to this, there's such a weird dynamic when it's like all straight men and then like a few girls or a gay. Like, it's a very weird dynamic because we do not exist on the same wavelength.
Right.
Like, we do not exist at the same wave as straight guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird. It's a weird vibe. Like, how do you feel on a day-to-day basis only working with guys? Straight guys, anyway.
Um, so I've always gotten along better with men than I do women anyway, because like I'm not saying all women, but there's a lot of like drama that comes along with that. You get your same stuff, like you get different stuff with the men. Like everyone, like both genders have their like issues. But with guys, I feel like there is less of that filter, so I'm usually more comfortable around them. Obviously, I would never say anything to the extent that they do, but I don't feel as judged around guys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I do. It's weird. It's really weird. I feel more...
Well, it's judgment, it's just in a different way. It's a
right.
different kind of judgment.
Right.
Because they're judging you based on, like, this is going to be gross, but let's be honest with ourselves. They're judging you based on your fuckability. Like, that's what it is. Like, they're judging you based on whether they would take you into that storage closet and rail you up against the shelves and bruise your thighs. Like, that's what they're judging you based on. And they can argue that that's not it, but it is what it is. They're judging you based on your fuckability. Whereas women are judging you based on, I guess also kind of based on appearance, but more so like the choices you make about your appearance and stuff.
Right.
And then, I don't know. I have the opposite emotion about things. Like, I've always gotten along better with girls.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah. I rarely get along that well with straight men because I just don't understand. Like, do not understand how they have made it this far in life. I don't understand. Because they're not.
Yeah. Like, as far as like intelligent conversations, I definitely have more of those with like non-straight men or women. But as far as just like coexisting peacefully in like a work environment, I prefer men because they're usually, at least towards women, I feel like they're less confrontational. With each other, they'll confront each other. But with women, like especially in the South, they were kind of raised, most of them, to not do that. It's not that they have respect for women, because they'll do other things that show they have zero respect for women. But just society has taught them not to, like, confront a woman as much as man. Because I used to work in the school system, and that was obviously all women. And the drama, when it's all women is insane. Like, men just don't care as much about feelings and little things, and that's a problem on a different level, but in a work environment it actually works out well. Like in a relationship, like on a more intimate level, that is not good. But in a work environment where everyone's just trying to get their shit done, it's helpful to like not have your feels in everything.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I think I would. Yeah. I can a little bit agree with that. I get that. I think I'm a bit of a stereotype when it comes to being gay because I do kind of enjoy drama. I really do. Like when there's workplace drama that doesn't involve me, I live for it. It's so good. Like, when I was working at the escape room, there was quite a bit of that, because it was pretty much split down the middle of like half guys, half girls, and then gay. I was the token homosexual.
You were Switzerland.
Switzerland leaning girl. I was usually on their side. But yeah, you're also kind of right with like they certainly don't respect women, but they don't necessarily confront them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why that is. Probably because they've been told that women are crazy and are emotional and,
Yeah.
terrible. But which is not true, but it's a fun narrative that gets to spread. But yeah, I get along better with women, so any workplace where there's more women than men, I'm more comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
I just I, I don't necessarily feel super I feel more judged by straight men than I do women
Mm-hmm.
because I'm being judged for the fact that like I'm gay.
Right.
So they're already judging me just inherently based off the fact that I'm more feminine than them.
Right.
I'm always going to be more feminine than them. That's never going to change. I and I would consider myself a little more middle of the road
Mm-hmm.
as a gay man and my behaviors, but like I truly do lean more femme. I lean way more in that direction because I
Especially
the
when you're
masculine
drunk.
thing is kind of gross.
Yeah. Especially when you're drunk.
Yes.
And I feel like I don't know, like I haven't asked enough people to say that this is like the like overall opinion, but I feel like from what I have experienced that everyone feels more judged by their gender because within your gender like people are comparing you to them.
Oh yeah.
Whereas if it's another gender, like, yeah, this, like, dude could be saying that that chick's hotter than me, but at least he's not, like, a woman would say, oh, I try harder than you, and you just don't care about your appearance. And that's why I look better than you.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. We definitely get judged by our own gender more than we do the opposite. Because we're innately taught to be competitive with one another, which is not at all what the case should be.
Right.
Um,
Super toxic.
my phone has now vibrated 6 times in quick succession for different notifications. It's literally about my package arriving.
The package that arrived, like, 30 minutes ago?
Yes. I got a text, an email, a notification from the app, and then it was like delayed notifications from my litter box in there.
Your litter box texted you?
Yeah, we've got a you know what? I'll leave this part in because it's interesting. It has nothing to do with straight guys, but it's interesting. We have a litter robot. Have you heard of them?
No.
Yeah, so it kind of looks like a big like pod.
It's like a Roomba for cat
And
poop.
so no. So the cats, there's litter inside of the pod,
Mhm.
and the cats climb in, they do their business, and then it rotates to clean itself. So it'll like trap the litter in one side, and then the like other nasty stuff will go through this hole in the bottom and collect in this tray underneath with a bag in it, and then you can take the bag, tie it up, and throw it away.
Oh, that's cool. So you don't have to waste as much litter and it doesn't stink and you don't have to scoop. That's awesome.
Yes.
Especially since y'all have like multiple cats.
Yeah, we've got 5.
Yeah.
And 4 of them use it. So it's very nice.
Does the other one just not like it?
No, she's not a big fan of it. She's older.
She's
so
like,
she
I like
doesn't-
my shit to stay where I put it.
I honestly don't know why she doesn't like it. Because I was thinking, like, oh, she's older. She doesn't want to, like, climb into it. Because they have to go up these steps to get into it. But she climbs up and down shit all the time. I don't know why she doesn't like it. But she's an ornery old lady. That's probably what it is. But anyway, back to straight guys. When I was working at Yankee Candle, that was the only workplace I ever worked at that had other gay men, and it was exclusively other gay men. Like it was mostly women, but then 3 gay men.
Yeah, I can't see a straight man working at Yankee Candle.
I've seen a few, but I don't think it's a match. If if I'm being honest.
Like, I was telling one of my, I forget what the context was. I think I was telling a story about the fucking candle. Um, but I was like, yeah, my friend Cody worked at Yankee Candle, and like, before I could get out, he's gay. My coworker was like, he must hate his life. And then I said, he's gay. And then he said, that was going to be my next question.
One, fuck him for assuming, but also, yes. It was great. I've never worked with other gay men before, so it was cool being in a work environment with them because like I said earlier, we exist on a different wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, having us all working together was super nice because I haven't ever had that opportunity before.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I'm sure with you when you were, well, actually, never mind, because you said that wasn't the case for you. I was going to say, you probably felt a little better working with all women, but you already said that wasn't the case.
It was very dramatic. If I could work with all women like me, that might be a little bit different. Because I'm not gay. Like, I'm straight, but I'm not super, like, feminine per se either. Like, I'm more on, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how you would describe me.
I would describe you as more middle of the road. Kind of like me. Like, you're more middle of the road. Honestly, you don't particularly lean either way because, you know, like, today you went to go put on makeup before we got on live.
Right.
But
I don't wear makeup every day to work, though. It's kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're more middle of the road, so I can see that.
So I don't get along...
If you worked with more people like you.
Right. I don't get along that great with, like, super feminine people. They kind of get on my nerves.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I just don't like anyone that's very extreme in any direction.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, same. I don't want an extreme personality type.
Like, have you ever, like, experienced, like, being around a gay guy that was, like, flamboyant?
No, but there's plenty out there that I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never been one-on-one with them, no.
How do you feel about them? Like, are you, like, more comfortable with someone closer to you, like, middle of the road? Or, like, are you comfortable with, like, flamboyant?
I'm comfortable with it. Like, it doesn't...
They don't, like, get on your nerves, like, you're trying too hard, chill?
If it comes off as that, like, if it comes off as them trying too hard, yes. Mm-hmm. But not because of the gay thing, not because of the flamboyant thing. I don't like anyone who comes off as trying too hard.
Right.
You know? And that's across the board.
Right.
Like, if it feels like you're trying too hard for me to, like... Or not even for me, just, like, if you're trying too hard, it comes off as forced, and I'm not into it.
Right.
You know? I don't have a problem with super flamboyant gay men. I think if it was forced...
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, like, if it was forced, it'd probably get on my nerves, and I'd be like, you don't have to do that.
Right.
Like, we already like you. You don't have to be doing all that.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. And I think, like, with women, like, it may be more of, like, my predisposed, like, I'm trying to think of the word for it. Like, a judgment towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Because of, like, I was bullied a lot, like, growing up, and it was all by, like, preppy, pretty, straight hair, makeup, like, girls. So now when I see one of them, I don't even, like, take the time to, like, get to know them and know if they're really like that. I just assume they're going to be mean to me. So I try to avoid them. So that's a little bit on my side, too, that I need to, like, take time to get to know people. If I want them to, like, take time to get to know me and judge me based off of that, I need to do that, too. But
yeah. Growing up around a lot of women and, like, being friends with a lot of women has definitely shown me that for some fucking... And just, honestly, just seeing it in society and in our world, it's almost like y'all are told like you're in competition with one another,
Hmm.
like at all times.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make you like you're not. You're just like you're listening to what you were told instead of realizing, oh hey, like we're not in competition. Like I can exist, this other girl can exist. We can be very, very different and be fine.
Right.
You know? It's very that. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I can see why that would be really stressful for you. I guess I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I just like don't know how to like I'm always so scared to like try to like put in an effort to be friends with people like that just because yeah, I just like I'm always too scared to even try to like put in a effort. Do you see like that dust just like floating by my camera?
Yeah, I did. It's orbs. It's spooky, spooky orbs. Ooh.
It's the dead grandma blanket.
Throwback.
Like I'm always so scared to like even put in the effort to be friends with someone who's like feminine and like, you know, their appearance is perfect. I wouldn't say perfect, but like they definitely put in a lot of effort into it.
Very manicured.
Right. And like just have like a certain way about them. Like my when I nannied, the mom of the baby I nannied, she was super nice. Like we talked and like stuff like on her lunch breaks. And like she was really nice, but like just the aesthetic she put out that she was like really southern and like straight hair and makeup, like you know, type deal, like preppy. I just was afraid to like get too close to her because of that. I thought she like with I related her back to people I had known before that were backstabbing like that. So I just like and there most likely was she wouldn't have done anything. Like she was genuinely nice, but I was just afraid to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Honestly I have a very similar thing with straight men. Because that's who bullied me when I was a kid.
Right.
Uh, for the reasons I've already brought up, because I was different. It's really hard for me to try to get to know them, befriend them, much less even talk to them, because I have a lot of very negative memories
Mm-hmm.
about straight guys, and I know how they act, and it's pretty standard across the board if we're being truthful. So it's hard. Like I tried making I think I made one ish friend when I was working at Breakout that was a straight guy. And he and I ended up having like a situation, and I'm I'm not a fan of being yelled at in public.
I don't
So
think anyone is.
yeah, so things
Went downhill quickly.
yeah, a little bit. Although to be fair, I wasn't the only one being yelled at. That's actually the second time I got yelled at that job. When we talk about jobs, I'll tell you about that other story. He was also yelling at his girlfriend that time, which was so cool. Um, to yell at his girlfriend and his friend, you know, in front of people.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of being yelled at or like really conflictingly confronted in public. That's not cute for me. I don't like that. This shit needs to be handled like one-on-one. We need to sit down, have a conversation, figure it out.
Right.
You don't we don't need to be in public doing this shit.
Right. Let's go in a room. Let's go in the back room.
Yeah, let's talk about it in an adult way where you're not yelling at me.
Right.
Because that's not getting anywhere.
Right. I'm shutting down as soon as you start yelling at me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really. I know a lot of people whose response that is who just simply shut down. I'm more of just a like I'm in disbelief. I'm just like, are you really yelling at me right now? Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you think you're doing? Like, my mom is one of those people who shuts down when she gets yelled at. I've had friends who had that response. Like, it's, yeah, it's it's a completely normal response, especially for people who have trauma in their past with it. And while I say I also have trauma in my past about being yelled at, I'm more in disbelief of someone doing that.
It's like, bitch,
Like,
are you really doing this right now?
yeah, and it's just like, what are we doing here? What do you think this is accomplishing? Because it's accomplishing nothing. I'm just getting, like, pissed at you.
Right, I'm gonna start
Like,
yelling at you in 5 seconds.
well, I try not to be a yeller. I try very hard to not yell. I don't want that to be, like, I don't want that to be my response to
Right.
things. I'm just like, okay, once you finish yelling, I'm going to quietly and calmly say fuck you and tell you to get out. Like, no. That's not cute. That's not cool. That's not the response. That's not the move. But that's what straight guys do.
Hmm.
They yell. I don't like it. I don't like it.
No, I don't like loud noises. So, how we'll cut this out if it's too bad. But give me a review of my fiance, because you met him, you like spent some time with him, as far as like on the straight man spectrum. So I'm curious to see where he falls at it, because I definitely see like straight men aspects to him, but then the like I just want your opinion on that.
I'm gonna leave this part in because I'm totally fine with him knowing what I think. I honestly I don't want to say that I've had enough time to really know who he is as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
From the little amount of like interpersonal experience that we've had, from what you've told me, and from other things that I've heard, experienced, whatever. He definitely has some of those traits that are the straight man thing. He definitely exists on that vibe. But I wouldn't say I'm uncomfortable around him.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't uncomfortable around him. And I would say in general I liked him.
Cool.
I mean, yeah. I've told you that before.
Oh, I know. I just kind of wanted to see where you thought he fell on the straight man spectrum.
He's definitely not as, like, I guess if we're like gay to straight spectrum, like he's like here-ish, I guess.
He's not in the middle, but he's like closer.
He's closer to the straight, but
he's not like all the way over there. Like,
no.
Let's go fishing.
But yeah, I like him. I like Nick. I think he's a good choice for you.
Yeah, but I definitely do see like the straight things in him sometimes. Like the yelling thing. Which,
oh, really?
Oh yeah, when he gets mad he yells. And like even if he gets excited he yells. Like we've like kind of taught, like we're working on it, because I have like been in emotionally abusive relationships in the past. So like when I get yelled at, like I either shut down or like completely flashback. Like I'm not here anymore. I'm like back there. So we've like talked about it, and the fact that he needs to like chill with that. And he's gotten better about it. But yeah, he definitely yells. But he's also just loud and big and like.
That's true. He's loud, which is if I'm being honest, is not my favorite thing. But I know I can also be loud.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah, and I don't think that's like a choice. I think that's like just part of his personality, and like he's just like a big personality.
Yeah, he's a. I was gonna say he's a bear, but that's a gay thing. So I'm gonna say that. But yeah, I mean, I get that. I honestly liken him to me in that way. Like, we're both, I think, unintentionally loud,
Mm-hmm.
because I can also be very loud. Especially when I laugh. In editing this podcast, I've noticed how loud my laughing is.
Mine too.
Yeah, especially when it's like the burst laughter that I do. And I see, like, I'll be editing and I'll see the spike coming and I'm like, oh, I laughed. I'll see that with you too. It'll just be like normal laugh. That's really interesting. Yeah, now that we're talking about it, the yelling thing, I think that is a straight guy thing. That is definitely a straight guy thing. Because they're not taught to handle their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Which is sad.
Just men in general.
Right, it's sad because they can't handle their emotions. Like, I'm having to teach Nick how to, like, feel things because, like, they just, like, suppress and suppress and suppress until they explode. And it's really sad because that can't be good for them. Like, it can't feel good for them.
No, that's where, like, fucking high blood pressure and murdering and all that shit comes
There's
from.
a reason why the female lifespan is longer than the male lifespan.
Mm-hmm. I say, and I'm talking from experience. Like, we're really not taught to handle our emotions very well because we're taught to not feel them. We're taught to suppress them.
Mm-hmm. Don't be a baby and cry.
Yeah, it's been a big journey over the past probably 6 or 7 years, maybe even more, of like really trying to get in touch with my emotions
And you still don't show them very much.
No, I don't. That's actually something I have tried to work on in the past year or so, of trying to get better about it, because I still have that notion in my head of like, okay, you can feel your feelings, but you have to feel them behind closed doors. You know, you you have to feel them while nobody's staring at you. Like, I think I cried for the first time in front of my siblings a few months ago, and it was so weird for me. Because, like, I try really hard not to. But that also comes from being parentified as a child. Of
you had to like be, like, the strong one for them.
Yeah, I had to be the one that wasn't gonna buckle and wasn't gonna crack under the pressure. And had to hold shit together while my parents were imploding.
Pressure like a tick, tick, that'll never stop. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. I very much relate to Louisa. Very much relate to her. That was me. From, like, 11 until I was, like, 15. That was me.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then that was kind of the time when my mom, like, it kind of came out of her depression a little bit, and my dad slowly started to realize, oh, I should probably be a dad.
Should probably, like, do that thing.
Yeah, I should probably do the thing that I've been not really trying to do for the past, forever many years. But I have two very broken parents. So, like... anyway, yeah, my inability to show my emotions definitely comes from that. It stems from being parentified as a child.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. It's just everything in your head is telling you, like, you can't. You can't show that weakness. Because then you'll get judged even more. And honestly, I'm going to try not to say any names during this next part, but you'll know who I'm talking about. I don't want to become like a certain person. And I have this, like, irrational fear that if I start being, I don't want to be too, like, I don't want to say how I'm feeling and then it comes off as that, and then it's me constantly doing that. You know?
I have the same fear.
Yeah. Which, God, fuck. Like, look at us unpacking fresh trauma. Because I'm now realizing that's exactly what it is. Real fresh emotional trauma of having a friend like that.
Yeah. Because I've always been scared, like, if I show too much emotion that people will just get annoyed by me. And, like, Nick and I have had that issue a lot. Like, I'll be crying and I'll think he's annoyed by me. Normally it happens because I tend to start crying when it's time to go to sleep at night and he's just trying to go to sleep. And I'm like, why are you ignoring me? And he's like, I'm sleeping. It's 1 a.m. Yeah. So I've been trying to have my emotional breakdowns before bedtime, but, sometimes it just... But I immediately, like, whenever he's not, like, right on me, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm annoying him. He hates me. He's gonna leave me. So yeah, I feel that. I'm afraid of being annoying by being emotional.
Mm. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of being annoying. I'm trying to put it into words.
Mhm.
Trying to figure out how to say what I want to say. I don't want to be a burden to other people,
Mhm.
and everyone has shit going on in their lives. And right now, honestly, a lot of the people in my life have a lot of shit going on.
Mhm.
So I don't want to pile mine on top of theirs, and
Mhm.
then they're burdened with knowing my shit, you know?
Mhm.
So I don't want to be a burden to other people. That's also for being parentified as a child.
But the thing is, like, do they burden you with telling you about their stuff?
Yeah, see, and that's where it breaks down. Because no, I don't see it that way at all. When other people tell me that they're having a hard time and that they like want help, it's not a burden unless they make it a burden. Um we know who we're talking about. No, it's really not a burden, but then in my head, I think it's a burden.
Mhm.
It's fucked. It's fucked. It's a fucked way to live.
Yeah, I feel that.
Huh.
Welcome to
And
Cody's
honest,
therapy session.
so how did being parentified as a child affect you? Huh, let me list the ways. That's this whole episode. But back on straight men, just to cut back to the topic. I they need to chill. Honestly, they need to chill. Like, stop being gross. I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. Stop being gross and stop being dick bags. I hate it. Y'all look gross. Even with my dad, who is like he's straight,
He's
but
straight.
he's not boring. He's straight, but he's not gross for the most part. Um he and I have gotten along better in the past few years because he's kind of like toned down a little bit. But it's it's wild. I don't know. I don't know about straight guys. Are they okay? No.
No.
No, they're not.
Society has completely crushed them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. They've crushed them and then like molded them into these little things, and we're just expected to like,
Deal
you're
with it.
fine. You're okay. Yeah, everyone else has to deal with it. Everyone else has to deal with these like shattered remnants of full human beings that are pretending to be full human beings.
We're
And be
fine.
like,
We're
yeah,
fine.
this is fine. This is great. This is fun. No.
The
No.
full like weight of their family lies solely on their shoulders and their head, and like they can't express their emotions, and like
Mhm.
they have to be someone that they're not, even if they like.
Uh-huh. Why do you think alcoholism and drug use and high blood pressure and fucking dying early is highest in men?
Like, women have some unrealistic expectations, but men have like I would like argue more in some aspects. I feel like that we can be more of who we are easier
Mm.
than men can. Men have to fit into a very specific box.
Mm.
And women used to, but I feel like we've kind of expanded and like that's gonna be a teaser. What happened?
Didn't know she was in here. She just scared the shit out of me.
She looks traumatized.
Oh my god. Oh. All right, you gotta go. I did not know she was in here. Oh my god. She just scared the shit out of me. So, she literally, like, I have this, like, wooden chest that I have fabrics in from crafting. And it's, like, scooted under a table. And she, like, was squished in that box between the box and the table. And I didn't notice until I heard her, like, scratching to get out. And it scared the shit out of me because I was like, oh my god! And then I turn and it's her dumb little face.
There's a demon in the box!
Well, like, we just had that thing last week. The thing that was in the... I... I don't know how to come back from this. I'm so, like... This is gonna be a fun part to leave in, because I'm gonna leave it in. Oh my god. I wonder if you can hear her scratching to get out
I'm
of
sure
that
you
box.
can, because this audio on Audacity is really sensitive.
Oh my gosh. That...
Which cat is that?
That was Frizzle.
Now that she's been introduced to the internet.
Yeah, that was Frizzle. She knows she's not supposed to get in that box.
Because now all your fabric is going to have cat hair on it. In multiple colors.
Yes.
The calico life.
Well, she's not a calico, she's a tortoise shell.
Oh, I don't know the, like, cat colors.
Tortoise shell is just, like, she's got a lot of different
like,
colors
fudge swirl look.
Yeah, because she's got, like, gray, black, orange, and, like, a beige color, all, like, just in different... It's kind of like my hair, where it's gray, white, and brown, all just in different things.
And, like...
It's very that.
Calico's more, like, spotted type. Orange and white and black and brown. And...
Yeah, my sister has a calico. She's the older one. Yeah, they're like, they've got spots and like patches and stuff.
They're the ones that it's really, really rare for it to be a male, right? Like, there's not very many male calicos.
Honestly, I don't know. I know for orange cats, it's rare for them to be a female.
Interesting.
Because I had a female orange cat.
Interesting.
And yeah. But, oh, speaking of which, this is so not on topic. I saw this really pretty orange cat out back this morning. And I wanted to go pet it, but it immediately ran under the building. But it was like a big, fluffy orange cat.
I found a cat.
You want it?
Yes. I want a cat so bad, but Nick won't get me one. Like, and then he takes me to, like, the kitten adoptions at PetSmart. I'm like, I want it.
I don't like him.
And then my dad, like, if you, like, want to do some cat rescue, I just need you to go over to my dad's house with traps and trap all those cats over there, because someone needs to help them.
What's up with the cats at your dad's house?
Are
they still out of control?
Yeah, they're semi-feral, and, like, all of them have feline AIDS. Like, you know, I think that's what it's called. FIV? Yeah, so anyway, like, the kittens, they have, like, a bunch of kittens every year, and most of them end up dying because, like, of the feline AIDS. They get, like, the snotty face shit and just, like, die.
Yeah.
And it's very sad.
Well, I won't be needing a cat for a few years, but I'll keep that in mind.
No, I just need you to trap them, neuter and spay them, and then return them.
Yeah, sure. I go trap them, spend the like $200 to get them spayed and neutered, and bring them back.
I think there's actually like a like thing at Duke where they do it for free. My uncle's been talking about doing it for a few years. He just hasn't yet. that's
Well, I
beside
mean,
the
I think it'd be a. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Straight men. Um.
That's beside the point, though. I feel bad for the cats. I mean, it's nothing they've done to them. They just kind of show up and reproduce, but like nobody can afford to like fix it. Because we know if we send them to the pound that they're definitely gonna die. So we just kind of like let them live out their natural cat life. But it's so sad that the kittens die.
Well, I mean, I think it's decently common for most kittens to die like in nature anyway.
Yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they have so many.
Uh-huh. It's like people back in colonial times, they had to have 100 kids because only like 2 of them would live.
Right, the first 8 would die.
Yeah. Just look at The Witch. Have you seen The Witch?
No.
Oh my god, you have to watch The Witch. Actually, you would probably hate it.
How do I'm trying to like remember how we got here and how to get back.
Um, that's a great question.
Oh, it was Frizzle.
'Cause the cat.
Yeah, it was.
Frizzle scared me, and then we started talking about cats, and then you started talking about feline AIDS, which is always a great topic, and then we. Yeah, I mean, there's but straight men, yeah.
They're like cats.
Oh, yeah, they keep fucking reproducing. Someone needs to spay and neuter them, please. Oh, okay. I remember what I wanted to say. Straight men, heavy quotations, that are on the DL. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a minute. So I have found, and this is probably going to be NSFW for anyone listening, so just heads up. You know who you are.
Cody's mommy.
Yep. Yep, my mom, specifically. My mom. I have found that straight men on the DL are the ones that enjoy my body type. Typically the most. My problem is, I don't fuck around with that. I do not fuck around with that. Like, if you're on the down low, you're not straight.
Right.
Like, okay, let's be real. If you are a guy and you are getting a blowjob from another guy, or you are having sex with another guy, you're not straight. I'm not saying you're gay.
I mean,
I'm just saying
if
you're already a step down.
If you try it once, you may be straight. But if you continually do it,
yeah, if it's something you do on a regular basis, you're bi. You're pan.
At least.
You're something.
At least.
You're not. Yeah, like like it gets on my nerves so bad, and because they act like straight guys, that's my biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is they act like stereotypical gross cringy straight guys, and I hate it. I don't have time for it. I don't fuck around with guys on the down low.
How often does that happen? How often does that happen?
Like, how often do I get messages about it, or how often just in general does stuff like that happen?
How often do you get messages about it?
Once a week, maybe twice.
Damn. So you're in like our childhood town. Has there been anyone that like came to you that like you knew from like a long time ago? That like okay. Because we would need like a private talk if there was anyone from like school that was.
No, I honestly, this is terrible, but I don't really have the memory capacity to remember most people, but I do Google them, so I find out who they are. Like, and I look at their ages and stuff because I'm like, oh shit, is this someone I could have gone to school with? Because I honestly, I do not remember, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I have like one yearbook, I think, and I
Mm-hmm.
have no idea where it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't even have a way to reference if I know who it is. Like, some of these guys could have been teachers. Some of these guys could have been like PE coaches, like little league coaches. I have no idea, but
Do they have
not that
wives?
I
How many?
remember.
How many of them do you look up that have wives and like children?
More than you would like to think. I'll just say that. There is quite a few people. I'll just speak from this area because I had a similar but much more scaled up experience when I was living in Florida. Especially in this area, quite a few.
Interesting.
Quite a few.
Because it's not like an accepted thing here.
No, it's really not. And especially if you're even just one generation older than us,
Mm-hmm.
it was like taboo.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would, live their lives as straight
Mm-hmm.
and then get trapped in relationships and then in marriages and then in parenthood. And so then you're stuck living this life that's not yours.
He would just be gay as a hobby.
I love putting it that way. To be clear, she is not saying being gay is a hobby. What she's saying is you're treating it like one, which is very funny. But yeah, it's very like that. But a hobby that you can only do at very specific times and usually in the dark.
Behind the Piggly Wiggly.
I'm sucking dick behind the Arby's. Married men.
You should pay. You should just if that many people are reaching out to you, you should just like start charging for it.
Just become a gigolo. I don't know. It's really funny because I've talked to people before who think I'm kidding. Like, because I look like this, you have, we'll say set expectations for what my dating life looks like. And a lot of people would think that or not even dating life, my sex life would be non-existent because I'm fat and not conventionally attractive. The opposite is true because there's plenty of guys out there, and I'm sure you've in a much more scaled down way have experienced this too. There's plenty of people out there looking for this. It's just
most of them are creepy.
Yeah, there's a lot of creeps and there's a lot of married men. And I'm not into that. Like that's this is terrible to say. I did have 2 hookups that were with married men. But I did not know they were married.
Until
they lied to
after.
me. Yeah. And because honestly, let's be real, it's super easy to lie about that. And at the time, I wasn't Googling people.
Mm-hmm.
It was after that happened that I was like, oh, I need to know who the fuck is. Like, I need to know what the fuck is up.
Yeah. Like, send me your main social media.
Yeah. Like, I need to know you're not married. And I'm ashamed of myself because of that. But
I mean, you can't.
It's also something.
You can't help what you don't know.
No, and like I truly didn't even know until after. Like with both of them, I didn't know until after that they were married because they were both very good at hiding the fact that they were. Like I don't know, one of them had to have taken down like every fucking photo in his house. But I didn't notice that because I'm not a picture person.
He had you come to his house?
Yeah.
That he lives in with his wife?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep.
I swear, if I found out Nick did that, I would murder him.
What, right? It's enough to make you paranoid. Like, it's awful. Like, it's truly awful to think about.
I'm putting up hidden cameras. If Nick has a man in my bed, I swear to God.
If Nick has a man in your bed and you're not there for it,
Right, at least invite me.
at least let me watch from the closet or something.
I'll
Like,
join
come on.
in.
But yeah, like I'm not a picture person. Like I have stuff on my walls, but they're not portraits, they're not pictures.
Mhm.
They're like fucking Care Bears and Michael Myers and paintings and shit. Like stuffies. Like I don't have pictures, so I didn't think about it. But then after I left and I like noticed a few things like in the house where I was like, huh. And then I was leaving and I decided to Google the person like on my way home, which don't do that while you're driving. But yeah. And it's something I really hate to say, like, but I also need to be honest about the fact that it happened. Like, I did
Right.
that. I took part in that. I never did it again.
Mhm.
And I vet people in my own way. I vet to make sure that, like, they're not married because I'm not comfortable with that.
Right.
Like, I know there are people that are comfortable with that. And, you know, some people have open marriages and, you know, that's all fine.
But disclose it.
Yeah, it needs to be disclosed, and I'm not gonna be the person you're cheating with.
Right.
You know? Like, because I'm that person where, like, if you feel like you need to cheat on somebody, you should not be in that relationship.
Right.
And that is such a straight guy thing. They just will stay in a relationship that they hate because it's easier to just cheat than it is to stop
Right.
the relationship and move on. Like it's wild. I hate it. It's so gross. And it made me feel really gross about myself. I still do. Like I don't think I've ever I don't know if I've ever told the other people in my life that about the fact that I've slept with two married men.
But you didn't know. So
No,
so like
I didn't.
if you like knew, I'd be like, Cody, what the fuck? But like
Yeah.
you didn't know. There's nothing you can do about not knowing.
And if I wanted to, I fucking could now. There's plenty around here. Trust. But no, this hoe has not been active for a while.
You tried, but you know.
Yeah, that's who I get the most messages from on like dating apps and stuff is from
Married
quote
men.
unquote straight guys
Yeah, I'm
who are
straight.
like on the down low.
Look, I'm straight, but I need you to come suck my dick.
Yeah, like okay, you're not straight, but, and I'm not doing it.
But cool.
Cool. Go somewhere else. Go to some pig bottom that's, you know, really wanting it today. That's not me. They also, it's so funny. They also seem to think that I'm, I wouldn't say I have great self-esteem, but I'm not gonna let myself get treated like absolute garbage from a stranger online. So a lot of them are very surprised when I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, well, you're ugly and fat anyways.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if you had thought that, you wouldn't have been asking, so.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago, you wanted to get up inside me. So, what's the tea? Like, what's the truth? That's, straight women and gay men have that in common a lot. Of, like, we reject straight guys, and they're like, oh, well, you're ugly anyway. Clearly you didn't think that. You're just trying to be a dick now. I made you feel bad about yourself, so you now have to try to make me feel bad about myself. Which is not the move.
I'm trying to think.
I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I'm trying to think of I got like 400 messages. My mom found her wedding dress. What the fuck?
Oh wow, did she not know where it was?
No, like for my wedding.
Oh.
Look, this is what she sent me. She's like, found my wedding dress.
She's gonna have a fun wedding.
My mom is putting more thought into picking out her dress than I put into picking out mine.
Well, she has to make sure that she looks good, but she can't upstage you.
Right.
So she can't look too good. which is gonna be hard because I think once you're in the dress and you've got like your hair done, your makeup done, like you are done up.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see you. You're gonna look so good.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I hope you know both your mom and I will be holding each other crying.
When I tried
And you can let her know.
when I tried on my wedding, like when I like found my dress, all of them were crying.
Yep. And then you sent me the picture and I was like tearing up in my bedroom, just like, she looks so beautiful. Oh, straight guys. What are we gonna do with them?
Well,
Kill them?
Well, I'm gonna fuck them, but it's fine.
Okay, well, you know what? You know what? That's fine. You can fuck them. I will not fuck them. And it'll be great.
Well, I'll fuck one, but the rest of them are.
Yes, unless he has an untimely death from his high blood pressure from the yelling. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna put that out to the universe. I'm not gonna put that out to the universe. For the record, and for, my own safety, I like Nick.
For my own safety.
I don't need him messaging me being like, what the fuck? I say that. He probably won't listen to this.
Oh, I have a good story that you told me about a straight guy. The Yankee Candle thing. There was like a couple, but like one specifically.
Yeah. Are you talking about the the fucking candle, or are you talking about the mandel?
The mandel.
Which story?
The
mandel?
Both, but like the mandel specifically.
Okay. So, yeah, when I was working at Yankee, because obviously we cater to more of a female audience, let's be real, because that's more of who's buying candles. But that does not mean that men can't buy candles, and it does not mean that men shouldn't enjoy them, because they should. They're great. However, sometimes straight men would come into the store and ask about the candles, what kind they should buy, what they should get for their wives, stuff like that. This one story, a woman came in with her husband, and this was probably like September of 2020. So it was like hardcore pandemic, and neither of them were wearing masks. And so I was like trying to keep my distance from them. And they start asking me questions about like what sort of candle would I suggest for a man, because the guy wanted a candle. I forget what specifically he wanted it for. I want to say it was for like his truck or something. He was trying to find
the air fresheners for the truck. Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to find some smell for the truck, and we would always suggest smelling the candles instead of the actual fresheners in the packaging, because it's not gonna. You obviously can't smell that well through the packaging.
Right.
And so they were asking about like masculine scents and like what sort of candle a man should get. And I was literally like, it's a candle. It doesn't have a gender. It just depends on what smells you like. Like, that always tripped me up the most. Like, it's a candle. It's not it's not genderified. Like, it's just an inanimate object. It is simply a candle.
Oh, the candles with the penis are over there.
I should have mentioned that one. The ones that smell like fucking bitches, those are over there. The ones that smell like woodwork and leather, they're over there. Like, the ones that smell like mowing the grass, over there. I don't know. Like, and they kept asking me these questions, and I just kept, like, not having good answers because I don't know. Like, there are typically more, like, masculine smells, but we didn't really offer a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just sort of a like weird cyclical conversation of me suggesting things and then being like, oh, well, that's not masculine enough. Like, my gay ass is just there like, pick one.
Sir.
It's
Sir.
a candle. Pick one that smells good. Just pick one. It doesn't matter if it looks manly. It doesn't fucking matter. I am a homosexual and this is Yankee Candle. Just pick a fucking smell and go for it. It does not matter. Just because you have a penis doesn't mean you can't enjoy good smells.
Right. Pumpkin spice is for everyone.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to get a candle that smells like body odor and semen. Like, just. Yeah. It was so stupid. Like, and I was also just the wrong person to be asking. I was also like fresh. This was in like September or something, so I had only been working there for like a month.
You're
so
like,
I still didn't even know everything.
You're like, my favorite candle is daffodils and lavender. I don't.
I like the black cherry candle. Would you like to smell that one? Like,
I have a penis and I like this one, so maybe.
Yeah, like, I never understand that. Like, trying to find, like, gendered things that don't have anything to do with gender. Like, we don't own mandals. We don't offer mandals. I'm sorry. This is a candle store. We sell candles of all kinds. Pick one. Pick a smell. Put it in the damn car.
They have man Epsom salt. Like, Nick got this, like, recovery Epsom salt that was, like, eucalyptus and mint. I'm like, why is eucalyptus and mint specifically for men? Like, I googled it online. I'm like, will this, like, make my vagina explode if I, like, soak in it? I used it.
It's got a special chemical compound where vaginas will just cease to exist.
Well, I know, like, women are more prone to, like, urinary tract, like, agitation and stuff. So I was, like, kind of worried about that, but I googled it and they were like, no. And I used it and I didn't get a urinary tract infection, so.
No, also eucalyptus and mint are not, like,
manly smell.
They're not even typically manly smells.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, if you're going for more masculine smells, that's really not either one of them.
Right.
They can be put in with those smells, but usually if they're talking about like masculine smells, you're talking about like musk.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about pine, something woody.
Cedar.
Yeah. Leather, something smoky,
Mm-hmm.
like shit like that. Where it's really not, you just smell like a log cabin. Like,
right. I mean, I like the smell of man like as much as the next person, but you can't gender.
Well, like, if I'm lighting a candle, I don't want to light it and it smell weird. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like car air fresheners, I kind of like what is it, steel? The steel. It smells like a man. It smells like men's cologne. I mean, I wouldn't hang it in my car, but we have air fresheners at work, and I sniff it occasionally.
Because all the men you work around smell terrible.
Yeah. Have you noticed this? That Hispanic men always smell fucking amazing. Like, they have the best cologne. I don't know where they buy their cologne, if there's, like, a specific Hispanic cologne store that only Hispanics are allowed to go to. But they smell amazing. Even jackass coworker of mine that was, like, bruising the girl's thighs, he always smells good.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. When I was working at Breakout, one of my coworkers, Alex, he was from Mexico, and he always smelled amazing. I actually had a crush on him for a little while.
Simply from scent.
But the size difference and the unhealthy work ethic was what got me. Not unhealthy in the way that he didn't want to work, unhealthy in the way that he worked way too much, to the point of one day after working at Breakout, he literally fell asleep in his car with the door open. Like, he was getting into his car and fell asleep with his legs out of the car. and slept there overnight because he only let himself sleep like a few hours a night because he was working so much. Yeah.
Who found him? Or
I have no idea.
Or did he just wake up?
I think he just woke up. Like, he just woke up in the morning and was like, oh shit.
Now
I slept in my car.
Now I can't sleep for 2 days because I gotta catch up.
Yeah, it's very that. That's probably the most sleep he got all week. He was wild. He was wild. He was so fun though. He was the one that told me he saw La Llorona. You're speechless.
What is La Llorona?
She's complicated. She's the vengeful spirit of a woman who drowned her babies in a river and then drowned herself in the river. And she like goes around wailing. I think it translates to the wailing woman or something. But like she goes around wailing, looking for her children.
She fucking drowned them. What is she looking
like,
for him for?
Because she wants to find them.
Then she shouldn't have drowned them.
Well, don't tell her that. She'll drown your ass too.
God.
But yeah, yep. He told me he saw her. Which was real scary.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed today and our drama with straight men. We'll see you back next week where we're going to talk about, I think, makeup, maybe? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think that was the topic.
Okay.
Yes, and remember to go follow us on Instagram, go to our YouTube channel and follow us. That's where we'll be posting the video versions of these podcasts. And we've got some cool Sims content going on there too. So go give that a follow as well. And then follow us, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
If you aren't already.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.